Hi, I'm Colin from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the Swift Bessacar 584. As we start the walk round on the driver's side of the vehicle, first the main point you get to is your freshwater filler. So this opens with the Swift key, and you can lock and unlock it. Go and buy yourself a hose pipe and some hose pipe connections, because most taps are just brass taps on site. Put your hose pipe in there, wait until either overflows or until you're happy you've got enough water on board, which you can see on which goes up in increments on the panel on board on the control panel. If you couldn't get a hose pipe to the vehicle, you could use a submersible pump, but you will have to buy one, which is a wheel submersible pump. So you put one end in there, there's power under here for the 2 pins, so this cover just lifts off. 2 pins go in there, and then you drop it into an aqua roll or a bucket of water, and it would suck the water out of the container into the main tank. You've got your flue for your Aldi heating system, so this indicates where the boiler is located on board, so it's just in your lounge there. And then your habitation key, so this is your habitation key, this is your ignition key, and then you've got a spare key which is for the other locks, which I'll get through in a minute. Got storage in here. Screw down. And then using the flip key, you can open this up, and in there you've got a wet locker, so you can put your leveling ramps, your hookup leads, all your dirty equipment in here, so it doesn't damage anything in the vehicle. Mains connection points, this is where you connect with 240 volts, so you get your hookup lead, expose the ends and hook up. Always hook the vehicle up first, then the sight, and do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle. And just underneath here as well, you've got your freshwater drain. So this is done remotely from the panel inside, where you click the button to drop your fresh water. It's very important in the winter you drain this off, and should you have taken on contaminated water, or you're just not using the van for a couple of weeks, drain the water off. At the back, behind the back wheel, you've got your waste water, so this is anything you've used, so your dishes water, your hand basin water, your showering water. Again, you'll want to drain this off, because if it did freeze, it would crack the tanks and pipes and cause a lot of damage. So when you're leaving the site, you would go over the motorhome service pitch and drop your waste and your fresh water. At the back here, you've got your cassette loo, so again opens with the Swift key. Make sure the blade's closed on the bottom bowl of the toilet, and you'll be able to lift the orange handle and slide the cassette out. Once you've slid it out, you'll be able to put the wheels up so you can drag it to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your main toilet block. And then to empty, remove the grey cap, press the button, which allows air in, gives it a consistent flow, and tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, there's normally a tap there, so that's when you'll put some water in via the spout. Give it a rinse, tip out again. Then if you're using the liquid form, 120ml cap full of chemical, either the blue or the green, into here, and it's good to go back in the vehicle. If you're using the tablet form, which is the new form, which takes up less space in the vehicle, put the cassette in completely dry, open the blade, flush about a pint of water through the cassette, and then followed by a tablet of either the blue or the green sachet. Ask your site which tablet they prefer you to use for their cesspits and holding tanks. Then on the back, you've got your reversing camera. You've got 2 bars here, fuel bars. This is if you wanted to fit a bike rack to the back panel. This is where it's been strengthened. And then coming round to the passenger side of the vehicle. So you've got your storage underneath your fixed French bed. You can see you've got your carpets in there. You've got your awning light and your 2 fridge vents. Your door works off the central locking, so you open the cab at the top, locks all the doors and opens the habitation door on the bottom. Or you can use the key if you want to manually open it. And then at the front you've got your LPG, so liquid petroleum gas. This is your gas locker. And in here you can fit 2 bottles. So to connect the pigtail to the bottle, it's a left-hand thread with gas. You'd use a spanner and you tighten it up. So even an adjustable wrench or a gas spanner to nip it up, turn the bottle on and off, and then once you've turned it on you would press the green button which allows the gas through, and then you press the green button here which is the crash valve sensor to allow the gas into the vehicle. Turn the bottle off when you are travelling. Make sure it's strapped in with the straps provided. This is our test bottle, that's why it's not strapped in. And always make sure that the bottle is safe for travel, being strapped in and turned off. If you've got any problems with any gas appliances when on board, turn the bottle off to be safe. At the front passenger door you've got your diesel filler. So this is where you use the main ignition key. So you'd only use this key for here and driving the vehicle. All the other keys are used for the habitation side. You've got your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar, which is 79.5 psi, which can be found on the passenger door pillar. Engine battery lives underneath the floor, and underneath here you've got a jack and a brace and a torn eye. So this is a tool kit, so everything you need to change the wheel is in there. Bonnet release can be found on the side of the passenger dashboard. So if I have a quick look underneath the bonnet, on the left hand side you've got your screen wash, then this cover lifts off and you've got your power steering and your coolant, brake fluid, oil filler and dipstick. Paint code for the Grigio black, which is 632. Earth for giving or receiving a jump start, and then behind the passenger headlight, if you do have a positive. So this is for giving or receiving a jump start. Your weight plate of your Aldi chassis that it's fitted to is a stage 2 conversion, so 3850 gross vehicle weight. If you were to put a tow bar on and tow, you can tow up to 5.5 ton, then you've got your front and back axle weights. So once on board, you've got your main switch panel, your Swift panel. So if you are hooked up, you'll get this little line here, which means you're hooked up and you are charging the batteries, which is 240 volt. If not, you will just get 12 volt off the leisure battery. So you turn the panel on and off here by the little logo. You've got your pump, which you can turn on and off, which will prime the water through the tap. So if you're using any taps, toilet, shower, you've got to have the pump on to pressurize the water. Next you've got your awning light, which is the light on the outside of the vehicle. And then you see lights. This is the master switch for the lights inside the vehicle where you can dim them. Then they all are individually switched throughout the vehicle. Power, so you can see your leisure battery voltage and your vehicle battery voltage and your solar current. Note that when you are hooked up, the solar pretty much doesn't work because the mains hookup is far higher of a voltage coming through than the solar panel can provide, but this will work when not hooked up. You've got your water, so you can check your water levels, so 25% fresh, 0 waste. And down here you've got your tank heaters, so you can turn them on and off. So if it's going to potentially freeze, if you're away in the winter, you can turn them on overnight, and then there's probes in the tanks which will put current through the water to stop it from freezing. You can turn your frost alerts on, so that'll indicate when it's potentially going to freeze, and it'll let you know that you need to either empty the water, you need to put the tank heaters on if you're using it, and then you can empty the fresh and the waste by clicking these, and it'll work the electric drops for the fresh and the waste outside on the driver's side. Going back to home, you've got your heating, so you can work the heating through here, but I'll get onto the heating and hot water panel, which is the Aldi, in a moment. Your fridge is operated through here, so you need to press fridge. You can turn it on and off. Auto, so automatic energy selection, switches between gas 12 volt and 230 volt. So what that does is, whether you start the engine and you're getting 12 volt, because you'll only get 12 volt when the engine's started and running, which, to be fair, you have to cool it down first on either gas or electric. Put on a 12 volt when you're travelling, but on auto it automatically switches between the three, and it'll keep your shopping nice and fresh till you either hook back up or you turn your gas on. If you manually wanted to do it, you would just press gas, 12 volt, it's beeping there, failing because the engine's not running, a 230 volt, but leave it on auto, it'll do its own thing, and you can turn it off. Got your settings here for the temperature, so 5 when pre-chilling, when there's nothing in it. Once you get your shopping in, you probably want to put on 4 or 3 just to stop it from freezing the shopping, and it'll tell you the temperature that it's currently at. So it's currently at warm, it needs to cool right down before you would put your shopping in. To operate your Aldi control panel, so you turn on and off here, so it goes off, and then you can turn it back on. It'll go through its cycle. It'll come to this screen here, and you can press menu. So at the top you've got the picture of the house with the thermometer on. Pressing the plus will take the temperature up. This is the temperature that you want the inside of the vehicle to be, all the way to 30 degrees. Then you've got the picture of the shower, so this is your hot water. So you can have it on half, which is 40 degrees of heating your hot water, or you can have it on full, which is 60 degrees of heating your water, depending on how hot you want your water to be. So normally when you're showering, you'd have it on half. When you're doing your dishes, you'd have it on full, just because 60 degrees is too hot when showering, it'll burn you. And then you've got the electricity sign, so this is heating your water and the vehicle on electric. So you've got 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts and 3 kilowatts, depending on the ampage the site gives you through your hooker blade. If you are tripping the vehicle out when using it on 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts, you may have to turn it down to 1 or 2 when using a high voltage appliance like a microwave or a kettle. Then at the bottom you've got the gas sign here, so when it's on blue the gas is off, when it's on green it's operating. So now it will work on gas and electric together, so you can have it on together if it is potentially cold and you want to boost the hot water or boost the heating. So that should get the hot water and vehicle to temperature in about 10-15 minutes. Then you turn your gas off and allow the electric to carry it. Or if you were wild camping, you'd forget about the electric because you don't have electric available. You just use gas to heat the water or the vehicle. And then to turn off, you just press and hold. You can go into settings and go into timers and things, but I'll keep it nice straightforward until you get your head round it. But there's handbooks on this, and there's more videos from Aldi themselves on this panel. So you've operated your fridge all through the panel. When winterizing or when not using the vehicle, it's very important that you clean your fridge out. You remove all the items, you give it a wipe down, and then the last thing you want to do is shut the door, because it forms an airtight seal. So there's a little white clip here. If you pull that right the way out, what that does is it stops the door from shutting on itself completely, and the door will then sit on against it in the open position. This will then stop bacteria and mold growing in the fridge. And you can use these controls here once you've turned the fridge on the panel, so you can go up and down with your temperature, and you go along your source through the fridge. But it's best to just use it all through the panel and forget about this. Above the fridge is where you'll find your TV aerial. So with the aerial, you always want to make sure that the nut is secure and it's pulled right in when traveling. If you're struggling to get a signal, you can loosen it and push it up, and then use this little toggle to direct the aerial on the roof. And you've got a min and a max here on the booster, but it has got a Road Pro satellite dome on, so you probably never really use this. Turn it on from the front here, so you've got the power button on off. You can seek for the satellite you want on the white button here, but it's automatically programmed to find Astra 2. You get a power button being the red button, the LMB button being the green button, and then when it goes, you'll hear it on the roof making funny noises until it locks onto the satellite, which you'll get the orange light, which means it's locked on and found a signal. Then all you need to do is tune your TV in on satellite. So for a satellite TV to work, you would need a satellite ready TV, like the best one on the market, which is the Avtex TV. Or you can have a standard telly that works off the aerial. In the kitchen area, in this cupboard, you've got your pull out cutlery tray, your draining board lives in there, and then underneath this is your Aldi boiler. So like I've said from outside, it's very important that you drain the fresh and the waste off in the winter. This boiler has a water container inside of it that holds 10 litres of water. You don't want that 10 litres of water to go cold and freeze in the winter. So when you stop using it, or whether you're just putting it away for the weekend and then getting it out the next weekend, if it's going to freeze, you need to drain the water off, because it's not covered under warranty, and it's very expensive to replace an Aldi boiler. So there's a little toggle down here, and you just simply lift it up and stand it up. You do it without the pump on, so the pump wouldn't kick in like it is doing now. Leave that stood up on end. Open all the taps throughout the vehicle, so fresh and waste outside off the panel, all the taps. Remove the shower head from the shower hose and allow the hose to lie in the shower tray, so any water in there drains down into the waste and drains directly out the vehicle. Otherwise, if you didn't, all the pipes on here are plastic. It could potentially freeze and split the pipes, flood the vehicle, and it's very expensive to replace and repair frost damage which isn't covered under warranty. So lift that up and then eliminate all the water throughout the vehicle. When you come to reuse it, you'd obviously shut the fresh and the waste off the panel, put the hose pipe in, shut all the taps throughout the vehicle, come in, put the control panel on, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll get an automatic flow of cold water because it's coming from the main tank underneath the vehicle via the pump to the tap. Go to the hot side and it'll cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises because it's transferring the water from the main tank underneath the van into here until you get a free flow of hot water through the tap. Then that indicates that your system is primed. Start off with the kitchen tap, then do the bathroom tap and the shower tap, and it shouldn't take much as long as the first tap you do, and then the system would be primed. So on your cooking facilities, on your hob, you've got 3 lit gas rings. So your ignition's this one here, and then you've got your hot plate this side, which indicates the red light, which is only when you're hooked up to mains electric. You would allow all the rings to cool before you put the lid down. You've got your grill, and below your grill you've got your oven, which you can see lit via here. Underneath is some storage and your isolating plug for your electric hot plate. Should it be giving you any issues, you can just pull the plug out. Mains microwave, so it's an 800 watt microwave, this one, and you've got to be hooked up for this to work. If that was giving you any issues, you can unplug or turn off here. And then you've got your solar regulator there, so it's flashing, which means the battery is charged. Cups and plate racks and some storage above. You've got two mains plugs there for your kettle and toaster, and a handy light which you can turn on and off above the hob. In the wardrobe area is where you'll find the location of your Aldi expansion tank. So this has got a liquid in it, with it being the Aldi system. It's got an antifreeze liquid that runs through the pipes and gives a more homely central heating feel compared to other systems. So this liquid runs round. When it's on, it'll show more than when it's off. So don't top it up when it's off. Run the system first, because the liquid expands. Then you'll get a true reading of where the liquid is at. And if you did want to top it off, you can just take this off, take the nut off, top it up. You've got a little breather pipe there for the liquid. You've got to top it up with Aldi heating liquid, which is the antifreeze liquid. The antifreeze is changed every 5 years, so when you come to service the vehicle, if you do want it changed, if you just let us know, because the life of the liquid is every 5 years, it needs changing. In the washroom, so you've got your light here. To operate the toilet, you press the flush on the back on the button, and that'll flush the toilet. Fresh water. Always flush first to lubricate the blade, and then to open the blade is this grey lever here which you'd slide away from you. Use the toilet with the blade open, flush after use, and then slide this back to the left, which shuts the blade, which will then allow you to get the cassette out should you need to empty it. You've got loads of little hidden storage spaces here for your toiletries. To open your windows, you just push the catches in, push it out, push it all the way out to bring it in, and lock it with the blackout blinds and a fly screen. Pull the clip apart to depart the two. Towel rail as part of the Aldi system, you get the towel rail, some more storage, and then like I said, taps open throughout the winter, shower head off, hose in the tray. And you've got this tie back, and then pull this out and you'll be able to use the shower screen. All that clip does is holds the shower screen back when travelling, and then you put the strap on for added safety so it wasn't making a noise when you were on the road. On this model you've got your French bed, so you do have storage underneath which I've shown you from outside, but you can simply just lift the bed up. There's your freestanding table which you can have in the front or outside should it be a nice day, and then you've got an assortment of storage underneath that. You've got storage underneath that flap on the floor, obviously because this is a raised floor. You've got storage, you've got that much of storage. Then underneath this one you've got your fresh water tank, so if you did want to be into it you can loosen the cap off underneath there and get into it, but you don't really need to be. You've got your leisure battery there with the main 40 amp fuse, some storage and your water pump. If you were wanting to make the bed, you'd simply pull this out and slide the leg open to make the bed on both sides, and use the backrest to meet in the middle and make the second double bed. Underneath the other side you've got your system shutdown button, so this button will isolate the battery in the winter. If you didn't want a battery drain, you can just shut that off and it'll completely kill the 12 volt on the leisure battery. You've got your fuses, which are listed here what they do, so do carry some spare blade fuses. You've got your charger and your heating and hot water on electric, so just leave them as they are, don't touch them. You can turn them on and off, but just leave them. You've got your RCD, which is your trip tester, and your MCB, so if you've tripped the vehicle out with a kettle or a hairdryer, try here before you try your main site. And you notice you've got two gas taps. So you've got the blue one, which is your fridge, and the yellow one, which is your grill. There'll be other gas taps located throughout the vehicle. Any problems with gas, turn the bottle off to be safe. And then behind here is obviously your gas locker from outside. All your little reading lights are individually switched throughout so you've got some in the lounge and two in the bedroom, so you can turn them on. And then at the back you can go up and down to dim and brighten the light bezel. To open the skylight above the cab, which you've got to have closed when driving, loosen these off, and then you can use the winding handle to open the skylight. Always make sure it's shut when travelling and securely fastened, but you do have a fly screen for when it's open and a blackout blind for when it's closed. And then for this style, you just push the button in, slide it back and put into the grooves there, should you want a nice bit of ventilation, with a fly screen and a blackout blind on again. And that's exactly the same as the one over the bed. So now in the cab, we'll go through the cab controls. So you've got your handbrake to your right, and then on the door you've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments. You've got two adjustments on each, so top and bottom, which you can control which mirror you adjust from here. And the black, the driver's door and passenger door on an evening, you'd pinch and slide along, and these are your MS car blinds, and then you do the same on the windscreen, so pinch, slide along, and then all you need to do is fiddle around with the wire above the like so, and you'll get them closed. And then they just clip back into the recesses. Down here you've got your headlight adjustment and your rear fog lights. You've got your wiper stalk with your trip computer on the end, which goes through the screen, which will tell you average and instant consumption, your travelling times, your distance travelled, and your fuel and range. Lights and indicators, all your steering wheel controls. Turn up to go for cruise control, which bring on the green light in the bottom of the rev count. Get your desired speed, push up to set it, push up to speed up, pull down to slow down. You can cancel here and resume here, or cancel with the foot brake to resume on the stalk to the last speed set before the engine was turned off. And then if you go down to setting at the bottom, this is speed limiter, so you go up slowly and it'll tell you how many miles per hour here. Push and hold will go up in 5s, and this will limit you until you floor the accelerator, and it will override the speed limiter for safety reasons. You've got your rear view camera, which is always on, and then if you engage reverse, which is lift the collar, you'll get a different camera which looks more down the back bumper of the vehicle. So that one looks the distance, this one looks down the back for reversing, as you can see the back of the vehicle here. Cup holders, hazards, locks the doors with it being central locking, and then you would just have to make sure all your lockers were locked. Your heated mirrors, and then you've got USB for charging and 12 volt. Temperature on the outside ring, fan speed must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work. Distribution on the outside ring, and then whether you recirculate air or you bring in fresh air in. FM, AM and DAB radio, and you can press 1 to 6 to save your favourite channels. If you did want to turn DAB off, you would just press radio and turn it off to FM or AM. Media can be a USB stick which you can connect into here by the cup holders, as it doesn't take a CD, and then to connect your phone you press phone. It'll say no phone connected, connect phone, press enter. Find Uconnect on your device, make sure your pins match, press pair on your device. It'll then ask you if you want to allow your contacts to be saved, press allow. Sync your contacts through, and then you can scroll through your contacts on the head unit and ring whoever you want to.